The Story of Pootis Mann, the movie 2. Our story begins, as Pootis Mann is meditating in a small but peaceful location, where no one could bother him. With all that is happening in the world right now, who could honestly blame him? Suddenly, a bunch of metro cops appeared out of nowhere and started beating the living cupcakes out of Pootis Mann. However, Pootis Mann was having none of his shit, and grabbed hold of the closest metro cop to him, and started throwing him around like a flimsy red bull. Pootis Mann threw his fists in the air and screamed, "Pootis!" at the top of his lungs. This time he was victorious, but Pootis Mann's private sanctuary had been compromised by some unknown enemy force. Pootis Mann waddled out of the room, for now. With Pootis Mann's sanctuary compromised by an unknown enemy force, he had no choice but to relax at home. Well, as much as he could anyway.
Lewis!
Even watching a remake of a 12-year-old Garry's mod video didn't help. Suddenly, there was a knock at the front door. Pootis Mann wobbled cautiously towards the door, and opened it. Oh look, it's Pootis Mann's brother, Father. You know, from the first film. Pootis Mann's angry face turned upside down faster than Kevin Spacey's career. Father dived on Pootis Mann, and they both began doing whatever this is. A brotherly hug. Hours later. Okay. So, what was Father's purpose for visiting Pootis Mann? Did he come round for a cup of tea? Is he selling Class A illegal drugs? Did their father come back from the grave? Is he going to ask for some money? Or will everyone stop supporting fucking scalpers? Pootis Mann was puzzled as to why his brother's house was ransacked. He never did anything wrong, and were they the same metro cops who attacked Pootis Mann less than 5 minutes ago? Pootis Mann and Father were raring to go on their first deadly adventure together. Father showed Pootis Mann his awesome car, and the contents of his boot. Clearly, Father was already prepared for action, and he knows the location of the metro cops. And so, the twin balls of lard drove off to the land of the metro cops. After traveling far and wide, Pootis Mann and Father made it to Metro Cop hideout in one piece. The super dumb Funkio brothers made it to the land of the Metro Cops. Pootis Mann was prepared for action, while Father was still choosing his main weapon. It's the equivalent to being stuck in a lobby in Payday 2, because some slow boot doesn't know what weapons to select before starting a mission. They look like they are ready to take care of business. Pootis Mann and his twin brother moved to the back of the hideout to stealthily take out the Metro cops. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Macabre was never far behind Pootis Mann, and the pair were ready to strike. However, certain events were about to unfold. Both Metro cops dealt with, and enough blood spilled to fill multiple milk bottles so far. Pootis Mann and Macabre positioned themselves by the back door. Pootis Mann silently opened the door, but took a sneaky peeky of what's inside. Sounds like the lads had entered a party house, but there were several sleeping Metro cops in bunk beds. Both Pootis Mann and Macabre looked at each other. They knew what had to be done, and quietly. Pootis Mann was really impressed with Macabre's killing skills. Pootis Mann and Macabre made their way to the second room, where the so-called dance floor was. Both gents had to stealthily take everyone at the worst dance floor in the universe out, but luckily, Pootis Mann brought a flashbang with him. Fucking hell. This has to be the bloodiest and goriest Pootis Mann moment ever. Surprisingly, no one in the next room heard a single breaking limb, shotgun blast, or scream. This really shows how thick these Metro cops are.
My boy, this piece is what all true warriors strive for.
I just wonder what Garry's up to. Your Majesty.
After making sure there were no surviving Metro cops, Pootis Mann had one last task to complete. This will surely be a blast.
Pootis!
After fleeing the hardly secured Metro Cop hideout, Pootis Mann and Porridge had their own private center. Oh no. Pootis Mann and Porridge are dead. That random explosion instantly killed them both, meaning that the story of Pootis Mann series and this film will end here. Well, it's been a good 8 years, now it's time to say goodbye to these two lovable fools. Hahaha. Just kidding. The story of Pootis Mann will never end. Anyway, after fleeing the hardly secured Metro Cop hideout, Pootis Mann and Porridge had their own private celebration. There were booze, and cakes, and whatever the hell that horrible looking stuff is. They partied all night and got absolutely plastered, so much so that both of the footballs wrecked the house. Pootis Mann woke up from his drunkenly slumber, and looked around his partly destroyed living room. Pootis Mann once again woke up from his hungover slumber, but something seemed off. Where is Father? Pootis Mann looked all over the house for his missing brother. Is he in the kitchen? In Pootis Mann's fugly bedroom? His bathroom? His loft? His cellar?
Do you know who ate all the donuts? Shut up!
Nope, he was nowhere to be seen. Is Father outside? Pootis Mann looked through his bedroom window, and saw a strange figure outside, standing over something. Pootis Mann feared the worst, and very angrily jumped out of his already broken bedroom window. Pootis Mann raced towards the man who was randomly molesting his revolver, but the man who revealed himself as the trigger-happy spy already knew Pootis Mann was coming for him, and held him at gunpoint. Do you remember the trigger-happy spy from the 2019 April Fool's video? No? I didn't think so. Anyway, the trigger-happy spy spared Pootis Mann his head, and faded away like a little bitch. Pootis Mann was very frustrated that he couldn't do anything without getting himself killed, but there was a more important matter to attend to. He then saw with his two eyes what the trigger-happy spy had done, and his face very quickly changed to an extremely sad face. It was Father, leaning against the container with a gaping gunshot wound in his chest. He was completely lifeless, and had been so for several hours. Pootis Mann placed his hand in Father's shoulder, but his sadness slowly grew to anger and guilt. He then released a devastating scream. Several weeks had passed since Father's unfortunate death. His body was buried in a secluded area on a beautiful island, which is the same island that was featured in the first film. Pootis Mann blamed himself for Father's death, even though it wasn't his fault. In one beautiful day, Pootis Mann visited Father's grave, keeping his mind off the dancing blue team. Pootis Mann stood completely still, reminiscing all the events both him and Father had together, such as the Metro Cop hunt from earlier, celebrating the death of their evil father, Father becoming the good guy after Jacket from Hotline Miami played that horrible and out-of-place tune, and that's about it in all honesty. Still, he was Pootis Mann's family, and that's all that mattered to him. What was also on Pootis Mann's mind right now was cold, swift revenge in the trigger-happy spy. And for some goddamn reason, I still can't say on. After several hours of morning vapors passing, Pootis Mann dragged his fat arse towards what used to be his brother's very posh-looking boat that suspiciously looks like Lara Croft's boat from Tomb Raider Underworld. Pootis Mann was more than ready to go home and plan his revenge. I'm very surprised he knows how to drive a boat. We've done this before, so he'll get back home safe and sound. Shortly after returning home, Pootis Mann went back to his peaceful zone to meditate and plan his revenge in the trigger-happy sky. It seemed as though luck was on Pootis Mann's side for once, as a friendly face appeared into his peaceful zone. Maybe this nice-looking lady could help him.
Greetings, Pootis Mann.
That voice sounds familiar.
At last we finally meet. You may know me as E, yes, the same E who located your father years ago. Now, I would first like to say that I'm deeply sorry for the loss of your brother. Please accept my condolences. Second, boy, stop looking at my breasts and pay attention. I want to help you avenge his death by helping you locate and kill the trigger-happy spy.
That's seriously an offer Pootis Mann could never refuse. He and Pootis Mann discussed the necessary steps they need to take to accomplish his goal.
We will find the trigger-happy spy, and you will have the chance to kill him. Good luck, Pootis Mann.
Shortly after Pootis Mann got back home, he began to prepare his execution plan for capturing and killing the trigger-happy spy. He even took that watermelon out of his bag from the first film, which now looks disgusting as fuck. Surely, Pootis Mann would have taken it out of his bag after his first so-called full-length feature adventure. I guess not. Ew. Pootis Mann knew what must be done to get his revenge, but first, night before Revenge Day party time.
You do that again, and I will bury you alive.
For just one evening, Pootis Mann could finally forget his troubles and party all night. There was something that caught his eye though. Scout attended the party wearing a cute bunny outfit. Pootis Mann wanted to have fun with his bunny. The pair danced. Why does Pootis Mann look like he's been holding a shit-in for an hour? Played games, and drank beer together until stupid o'clock in the morning when most of the guests already left. I'm sorry, were you expecting some sort of sexy scene to commence after this one? You're badly mistaken, YouTube won't swing that way. Anyway, Pootis Mann woke up later in that morning with a massive hangover. Good thing he prepared his backpack the previous day. Pootis Mann very slowly got out of bed and rushed straight to the bathroom to throw up his party drinks and food from the previous night. Oh lovely. Pootis Mann left the bathroom in one of the least dignified ways possible. 10 minutes later, after changing his vomit-soaked clothes for something that's exactly the same, but clean, Pootis Mann grabbed his backpack and went downstairs. Luckily, the living room wasn't too messy. How nice of his guests. Pootis Mann left his house in possibly the most horrific fashion. And waddled away to his latest adventure for revenge. A couple of weeks ago.
Yes, the trigger-happy spy? I assume the assassination went as planned. Splendid! With Pootis Mann out of the picture, I can finally avenge my fallen metro cops and rule this mod. You look alright, trigger-happy spy! Is there a problem? Good! I will soon have a cargo ship that's full of deadly weapons and metal cops, which will be setting sail for the city in a couple of weeks' time. I want you to be on that ship. Guard it with your life, and don't let anyone know what I'm up to. Thank you, sir. On your way, then! Any time now.
Meanwhile in the present. Pootis Mann took a long bus ride to the city, and made his way to the beach, where a boat was waiting for him. His task was to take the boat, and start heading north. From there, he'd be able to locate the cargo ship via a built-in GPS. Pootis Mann was very easily able to locate the boat. I'm surprised that no one's already nicked it. Pootis Mann began sailing up north. His mission had only just begun. Pootis Mann slowly made his way to the back of the cargo ship, and wasted no time getting himself on board. Pootis Mann made his way to the control room so he could gain full control of the ship. Jesus Christ. That's so unsettling. There's a killer Pootis Mann in the loose. Gmod. Pootis Mann very stealthily took out the captain of the ship. And his deaf assistant. The very violent Pootis Mann was now in control of the cargo ship. Right now, I feel sorry for the poor sod who will have to clean up this bloody mess. Pootis Mann leaped to the top of the ship to get a better view of what he's up against. There was only one Metro Cop, and they were holding an N249. That weapon would give Pootis Mann a nice advantage. Pootis Mann very violently slashed and stabbed the poor Metro Cop in the back several times, before he eventually fell to the ground, and died. Now, it's time for some real fun.
Pootis!
Wow, this is a waste of ammo. Luckily, Pootis Mann had his trusty shotgun to finish off anyone else. Pootis Mann made his way to the front of the ship. The trigger-happy Sky was at the front of the ship, staring out to sea. It's time to finish this. But not if the last Metro Cop had anything to say about it. With the last Metro Cop being killed off Captain Scarlet's tile, Pootis Mann was able to face the trigger-happy Spy without any interruptions. For once, since, well, ever, the trigger-happy Spy spoke to Pootis Mann. Clueless Man couldn't believe what he just heard. Father Bra is still alive? And so, Clueless Man and the trigger-happy Sky set sail for the city, and made their way to Dr. Grotesque's lab to free Father Burr. Oh, and kill Dr. Grotesque, of course.
Soon, my clones and I will rule the city.
Clueless Man and the trigger-happy Sky took their time to deal with Dr. Grotesque. Maybe there will be a face reveal somewhere.
Greetings, Trigger Happy Spy! How was your trip? And did you get here okay? Very good! Since Pootis Mann is no longer with us, I can now unleash a multitude of Evil Forger and Metal Cop clones, and use my deadly weapons to blow this city to Kingdom Come. They will know the true meaning of the word ugly, when they see the ruins of what ought to be a functioning city, and see me for what I truly am, a god. Trigger Happy Spy, what the fuck is the meaning of this betrayal? Is that so? Well, if that's the case, then you've given me no choice but to destroy you. Pathetic.
And so, Dr. Grotesque started beating up the trigger-happy Sky, but where was Clueless Man? He was standing behind them both, getting ready to kill Dr. Grotesque. With a rotten watermelon? Sure, why not?
How does it feel to be beaten half to death? Now, it's time to finish the... My god, I've gone blind, and the smell, it's bloody terrible.
We did 20 takes, and that was the best one.
With Dr. Grotesque no longer having a head, his lifeless body collapsed to the ground. The trigger-happy Sky lifted up his head and said to Clueless Man. Clueless Man helped the trigger-happy Spy off the ground and waddled their way towards the console. The trigger-happy Sky gained access to the console and released the real Father Burr. Oh, and the Metro Cop too.
Pootis!
And so, this concludes the story of Clueless Man, the movie 2. Clueless Man was reunited with his real twin brother, and they had a huge party when they got back home. The end.